In a dramatic turn of events with potentially seismic implications for global trade in the electric vehicle industry, Elon Musk has thrown his considerable weight behind a bold and controversial proposal: a zero-tariff-free trade zone between the United States and Europe. This development comes as Tesla teeters on the brink of what experts are calling a total collapse in the European market, a region once considered a crown jewel in the company's global expansion. Speaking via video at a conference organized by Italy's far-right League Party in Florence, Musk made an urgent plea for what he described as a zero-tariff situation, effectively calling for an economic pact that would strip away barriers between two of the world's largest economies. He also advocated for free movement. Here's what he said.
I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero-tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. That would be that's what I hope occurs. And also more freedom of people to move between Europe and North America, if they wish. If they wish to work in Europe or wish to work in America, they should be allowed to do so, in my view. So that has certainly been my advice.
His comments arrived at a particularly explosive moment, just days after President Donald Trump, now in his second term, unveiled sweeping new tariffs, including a punitive 20% duty on European Union imports, sparking fears of a global trade war. For Musk, who serves as a close advisor to Trump on technology and innovation, this wasn't just economic theory. It was a desperate lifeline for a company in crisis. Experts think that behind the polished optimism of his proposal lies a storm of commercial chaos, political friction, and deepening cultural rejection of Tesla's brand, especially in the heart of Europe. To understand just how explosive Musk's intervention is, one must look at the current political climate in the United States. President Trump, riding the wave of a protectionist resurgence, has taken a wrecking ball to decades of international trade agreements. With his America First mantra, Trump has systematically imposed tariffs on a slew of foreign goods, casting them as job killers and threats to domestic industry. His latest tariffs, targeting a range of European Union products, were framed as part of what he called an economic revolution. A bold move, he said, to bring back American factories and revive blue-collar employment. But these tariffs are not without collateral damage. U.S. stock markets experienced their worst two-day stretch since the COVID-19 pandemic following the announcement. Global markets responded with equal volatility. European officials, though initially caught off guard, have vowed to retaliate in a calm, carefully phased, unified way, according to European Union Trade Chief Maros Sefcovic. Italy's own economy minister, Giancarlo Giorgetti, himself a member of Salvini's League, urged de-escalation and warned against retaliatory chaos. And amid this international brinkmanship stands Elon Musk, who has found himself increasingly isolated both politically and commercially. Once celebrated as a visionary who could do no wrong, Musk now finds his brand under siege in Europe, and Tesla's European dream rapidly turning into a nightmare. In the first 2 months of 2025, Tesla's sales in Europe nosedived by a staggering 49%, plummeting from 37,311 to just 19,046 registrations. This in a market that grew by more than 28% overall. Nowhere is the crisis more acute than in Germany, a nation that once embraced Tesla with open arms. In February alone, Tesla sales in Germany fell an astonishing 76%, even as overall electric vehicle sales soared by 30.8%. The causes of this collapse are as complex as they are damning. Firstly, Tesla's product lineup has begun to look stale and outdated compared to newer, sleeker, and often more affordable offerings from European and Chinese manufacturers. Secondly, consumer sentiment has turned sharply negative, largely due to Musk's political affiliations and increasingly provocative public statements. His open support for far-right parties, including Germany's alternative for Germany, has alienated a massive swath of the European public. According to recent surveys, over 94% of Germans say they would not consider buying a Tesla. Not due to quality, but because of the man behind the brand. This backlash has gone beyond just boycotts. There have been numerous reports of vandalism targeting Tesla vehicles in dealerships across Europe. Key retail locations have been defaced, and showrooms have experienced a marked drop in foot traffic. The brand, once seen as futuristic and aspirational, now finds itself painted with the brush of political extremism. In this dire context, Musk's push for a US-Europe zero-tariff zone appears less like an economic ideal and more like a last-ditch attempt to rescue his floundering empire in Europe. Is this really about trade and mobility, or is it a calculated maneuver to win back European customers through the back door of political diplomacy? From Musk's perspective, a tariff-free corridor could slash costs, improve supply chains, and potentially stimulate demand by making Teslas more affordable in Europe again. It would also serve as a symbolic olive branch, a gesture of reconciliation aimed at mending the brand's fractured relationship with European consumers. His endorsement of free movement between the two regions, in sharp contrast to far-right anti-immigration rhetoric, seems designed to present a more humanistic, globally minded Musk, a narrative increasingly at odds with his political affiliations. From Trump's vantage point, however, the calculus is very different. His tariffs are a political battering ram designed to galvanize his base and punish countries he perceives as economically exploitative. Aligning with Musk's vision could be seen as a betrayal of his core platform. Yet Musk remains one of his most influential advisors, a tech magnate with enormous sway over innovation policy and a powerful voice in the global business community. Could Trump bend, if not for ideology, then for the economic benefits of appeasing Musk and stabilizing a volatile market? And then there is Europe. Already wary of Musk's far-right associations, European leaders are unlikely to embrace a free trade zone that looks suspiciously like a Trojan horse for American dominance, especially one advanced by a figure many now regard with skepticism, if not hostility. European Union officials are more focused on retaliatory strategies and long-term industrial self-sufficiency than on negotiating sweeping trade pacts under economic duress. While Italian leaders like Salvini may welcome Musk's proposals, more influential power centers like Berlin and Brussels are likely to treat them with cold disdain. As the standoff escalates, one cannot help but ask, are we witnessing the beginning of a new era of economic realignment, or the desperate death throes of a once unshakable tech empire? The stakes could not be higher. For Tesla, failure in Europe could trigger a broader investor exodus and a reputational collapse that spreads to other markets. For Trump, doubling down on tariffs could spark retaliatory measures that damage American exports and ignite a full-blown global trade war. For Europe, acquiescing to Musk's overtures could risk undermining its own economic sovereignty and democratic values. What comes next is anyone's guess. Will Musk's proposal find traction in the White House or be dismissed as self-serving opportunism? Can Tesla recover its standing in a market that now sees the brand as a symbol of division rather than innovation? And most importantly, how far are world leaders willing to go to protect their interests in an era where trade, politics, and personal ideology have become inseparable? One thing is certain: the fight for the future of transatlantic trade is no longer just about numbers on a balance sheet. It's about identity, ideology, and survival. And the next move could change everything. Your perspective matters. What do you make of Elon Musk pushing Trump for US-Europe zero-tariff zone as Tesla faces total collapse in Europe? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments section below. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to our Current Affairs channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our informative future videos. Stay informed, stay engaged, and thank you for watching.